Now, yes, I am Jim Rutledge, and I'm here today because I'm asking you. I'm asking you for your vote, and I'm asking you for your help for us to retire Barbara Mikulski this year. How's that sound? You know, as we gather here, though, just great crabs, great food, great company. We have to be realistic. We have to be realistic about the fact that we are witnessing right now the largest expansion of the federal government in our lifetimes. Our national debt is $13 trillion and going up. Unemployment continues to be high. And ladies and gentlemen, the threat to our individual liberties has never been greater. Never been greater. And in the state of Maryland, the biggest culprit, the most responsible party for what we're faced with right now in this state is Senator Barbara Mikulski. She has been in Washington, D.C. for 34 years. Too long for anybody. Let's face the facts. Our career politicians, they're running us into the ditch in Washington, D.C. They don't have the solutions. They're compounding the problems. But we know what the solutions are. We do, and that's why we're gathered here today. That's what this campaign is all about. Answers to people's problems. And those answers lie in each one of you. You look to the left or the right, you look across the table, you're seeing the source of the solution to the problems that we face. And it is not the government, and it is not some bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. that hides behind an army of lobbyists just to have any say-so whatsoever. No, this is we the people. That's what America's founded on. Not we the Congress, not at all. We know what the solutions are. Job creation in Maryland, economic opportunity. Oh yes, lower taxes, limited government, and strong national security. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the baseline formula. That's what America was founded upon. Taxes. As your next United States Senator, I will introduce a bill to repeal the tax code entirely. Folks ask me, why repeal it? Why not try to fix it? Well, shucks, some things you just can't do. You know, you can take the boy off the farm, that's what happened with me, but you can't take the farm out of the boy, and that's very true. Now, my father was a large animal veterinarian, and in addition to growing up on a beef cattle farm, I rode with him and I assisted him, and I learned something. Sometimes there's a cow or a horse that can't be saved, and they just need to be put down. And that's the case with this tax code. It just needs to be put down. And what we're going to do, a far simpler system of a low, flat tax for individuals and businesses. We're going to abolish the capital gains tax and tax on dividends and kill the death tax. Now there's a tax policy formula that is going to kickstart the economy and put us on so much better economic stimulus than just borrowing money and spending it out of the government. The San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank released a report earlier this year that for every $1 in tax cuts, it generates up to $3 in private sector job creation just in 24 months. Just in 24 months. Where would this economy be if our leaders in Washington had the courage to step up and say, we will stimulate the economy by getting the government off of people's backs and out of their wallet and unleashing the entrepreneurship and the creativity of good old Americans? Yes, we would be well on our way to a strong and solid economic recovery had that been instituted. Now, this is not a wild and crazy idea. It's a proven thing. And even JFK, John F. Kennedy cut the capital gains tax rate in the 1960s when faced with an economic downturn, and it stimulated the economic growth and put it on firm footing. This is a plan to success. When we talk about limited government, that's where we address this $13 trillion national debt and the looming deficits and the spending out of control. Well, we don't have to look too far, because the folks that founded this nation and the people that have maintained its constitutional language in this nation gave us a document that is the blueprint for limited federal government. And that is the United States Constitution. And that has not gone out of style, ladies and gentlemen. That document is not outmoded, not outdated. What it does is it puts limits on the role of the federal government compared to what should be good old-fashioned local government. You know, we're down to the distinctions here, aren't we? How big the federal government will be. Well, what are they doing? What is their job? Well, they're doing a lot of things that they don't belong in, and their jobs are not doing too well. Because the Constitution says, priority number 1, when you read it, Article 1, Section 8, you see a list of congressional powers and the powers of the federal government. It is largely matters of national security. That is the number 1 job of the federal government. And right there with it is to establish a fair playing field for business transactions, markets, and free enterprise across America. To establish the United States of America as a free trade zone where people can freely trade from one state to the next without trade barriers imposed from one state to the next. Fair playing rules for business.